Okay, hello everyone, and welcome back to Brick Rigs. We're here at the airfield, and you will notice a particular music in the background. That is because I will be showing off all of my biplanes that I've made, because if, when I'm recording this, if you've been following me on my Steam Workshop, you'll notice that I've made some more. And so I'll just reacquaint people with the ones that I've made already, starting off with this. And yes, this is a British marching music, and this is a German biplane. Because reasons. This was the first biplane that I made. It was just a simple enough biplane to make. It's got the German crosses on top. It's got a simple propeller with a propeller hub, which is just attached via a jumper block. You've got the undercarriage down here, which I've only just found out when I was making the other ones, that it's only held on with a single brick. That whole undersection that keeps the whole plane from just belly flopping is held on by a single brick. But yeah, so the whole thing's in a sort of beige camo. You've got the ailerons and the elevators in the tail section. You've got a control steering wheel at the rear here. You've of course got the German crosses on the back. I based this thing off the albatross, or a particular type of albatross. So yeah, the rudder section rounded. As for the camo, it's just a simple sort of, it's the best that I could do really. It's just a simple three-tone camo. You've got dark olive, light olive and brown to sort of blend in with the trenches and the whole idea there. You've got a red seat, you've got the control stick. Machine guns up the front here, which was a new addition which I just added on. So those fire through the propeller like they used to. You've got the engine sticking out the top like the albatrosses have, and indeed the biplanes the German biplane certainly in Battlefield 1. And that's just got running lights as if those were the actual workings of the engine. So if we just take off here, we'll just taxi over to the runway. You see very light on its wheels. It's got it's also got some port and starboard lights up the top as well, and then you've of course got the crosses on the upper and lower wings. Got the ailerons on the wings. And if we just taxi over to the runway like we have here, none of the wheels are powered, by the way. This is all under its own propeller power. But of course, as with lots of aircraft, it flies best in first person. So if we take off here, there we go, very light on our wheels. As you can see, very nice silhouette as we take off here. There's the running lights at the top of the engine. Machine guns. As you can see, you can just about see the traces there. Off they go. Simple forward firing through the propellers, interrupt gear, all of that stuff going to be working in this. Because that's how it would have worked. See if we can make a simple straight through pass. Yes, and down it goes. All taken down by a single biplane. Taking down two buildings. Yes. So there we go. That's the basic thing. You got struts on it. You can see back there. As for the speed, this is an inline 4 engine with a 0.5 gear ratio. Just because it was underpowered after the most recent update, which rebalanced all of the engines for some unknown reason. I don't know why, because I had to go through every single one of my creations and fix the engine, which was annoying. But yeah, so this is the World War I biplane that I made. German first because I don't know why. I just thought, why not? But here we go. We glide down. Don't bother with the runway. Oh god! Don't crash into that. And nosedive because I did that accidentally. But yes, so there is that. The next thing that I will show is a conversion of this. It's another German one, but I'll show this before getting to the big boys. And this is a simple Red Baron style Fokker D3 triplane. In the red, as the sun sets, let's just change that for now. Yeah, all the layout is exactly the same, it's just got an extra wing up top. It should really have the extra wing down below, but then I couldn't be bothered to mess around with the wings, so I just sort of left it as that. And it flies decently enough. I added machine guns to all of these later. You can't see much with these machine guns, unfortunately. But yeah, as you can see, lifts off real quick. Very, very short runway needed for this triplane. But yeah, because of the extra wing, okay, it didn't quite work. Yeah, that hasn't quite worked out for us, so maybe we do need a slightly longer runway and build up a little bit more speed if we get our speedo there. 28 miles per hour, 30. Still got the running lights on this thing though, as you can see, along the side. You've also got these things. Yeah, the port starboard lights. But yeah, this is just a sort of triplane Red Baron style aircraft, slower than the biplane, although we're picking up 100 miles per hour now. All of these biplanes are, of course, quicker than their real-life counterparts. Let's see if we can take down that big thing there. No, we're going to hit it. Go for that. If you're wondering what this music is, I might as well say the music is just the Great War songs. But yeah, so I've just got around to play this one, which will no doubt get me demonetised, but like I'm earning money anyway. Yeah, so yeah, it's just got the machine guns on, so you can have aerial dogfights. Not quite able to take down that one. But yeah, so they all feel like you're flying a biplane, or in this case a triplane, which is very nice. You can do rolls and everything. And yeah, so there's that. As for the third one, I've actually got two versions of this, so I'll just show the second version which I made. For a moment I thought they said go compare, but no, this is the music that it's based on, of course. But anyway, yes, so this is the German bomber that I made. This one's actually got added bombs. Originally I didn't have added bombs on this thing. But yeah, so I just added these simple bombs. It's just a 2x2 dome, so a couple of things filled with nitro, and then just a cone added onto the back. As for the fuselage, it's basically been elongated. You've got a gunner's position out the front. You've also got a different camo pattern. As you can see, I based this off of a 3 or 4 tone German camo pattern, which used pinks and purples for some reason. Don't know why, but it's characteristic of the Great War aircraft, so I just decided to try and make it. 2 engines mounted in the wings. Wings have of course been greatly increased. You've got double the amount of flap space as you have on the rear as well, because you've of course got the second deck now in this sort of biplane wing-esque formation. This has also got a couple of crosses on it. You've got crosses on the wings and of course on the fuselage. So as for the machine guns are just moved by your mouse view and yaw. As you can see, the rear one's got a greatly increased cone of fire, unlike the front one, but both of those are just controlled by the simple action 1, which in this case is left click. Also I've changed them to the big propellers because I made this after the big propellers were introduced. Also left click drops the first set of bombs, so let's just reset that. So this one definitely needs a bigger runway space, but as you can see, it's got the tailplane, it's got a redesigned front for the it's still got the tail wheel, and it's also got a redesigned frontal it's also got redesigned frontal undercarriage. There we go. I'm turning the wrong way for this. Whoops. Okay, let's just set it up. There we go. So this one, yeah, you do need the runway space. But here we go. Tally-ho, chocks away. All of that, toodle pip. And lift off shortly. Yes, there we go. We're just about lifted off now. There we go. So with this one, you've got the running lights on the side. You've also got the port and starboard lights on it as well. Yeah, it's more frontal heavy, which means that if you need to sort of keep it pointing upwards, you need to keep the nose pointed upwards. But still, let's take down this large tower because why not? So it's left click and middle mouse, or action 2 and action 1 to drop the sets of bombs which are mounted underneath the wings, as you can see. And so yeah, let's just line this up slightly better, and there we go. So those are off now. As you can see, they drop from the aircraft. We should just about clear that, but in they go. Bang, hit, hit, hit. Took down 4 of them actually. So all 4 hit on 2 different towers. And if we just check over the back of the aircraft, let me just look at this. Let's actually just change that to a nighttime setting. Okay, that doesn't help see the destruction. But yeah, so down they go. 2 towers collapsed by this World War I bomber. I'm going to have to miss the destruction, unfortunately, and turn this thing around. But yeah, just look at this thing. Oh, I accidentally did a loop-the-loop whilst trying to turn this thing around. So come on, bring it round, Hans. So there we go. As you can see, the skyline is now clear of 2. Okay, clear of 2 towers, and also I lost control there. Very easy to lose control of this thing because of how sort of unwieldy it is, which makes sense for being such a large aircraft. But down we go. Slide. Didn't actually suffer that much. Didn't lose any of the propellers, either of them. Lost a bit of other stuff. But anyway, yes. So yeah, that is the bomber that I made, and I'm very happy with this. To date, it is definitely one of my favourite things to have made, just because it just feels so great flying it. It feels like you're in a feels like you're actually in an old bomber sort of thing. And yeah, it's just really good. And then, not quite the next thing, but I'll go in the same order. So, of course, I needed to make British versions of the German planes because it would make sense, and now people can have proper dogfights. So I made this, based on the Sopwith Camel, sort of the Sopwith Pup. You've also got a bit of other designs, so it's a sort of mismatch of things. But as you can see, I've rounded it all off. It's not quite as sharp as the German ones because this uses the curved blocks rather than the simple, slope blocks. The propeller as well, you've got big bladed propeller. I've added this fake engine on the back here. This is supposed to be like the rotary engines that they used to have. So that's what that is on there. That's attached to the spinner itself. So as the propeller spins, so does the fake engine, which is just a nice little thing. It's got this exhaust also coming out of it, which, as you can see, produces smoke as the engine's running. And yeah, that's just copper to make it look nice. The front was typically a sort of polished aluminium sort of colour, so that's why I've got this chrome on the front here, which makes it look very nice. To make it different to the German ones, the underside of the wings, instead of being the light grey like for the Germans, this is now just pure white to try and blend it in. The top as well is also just olive because the British didn't tend to have camo like the Germans did. It's got the roundels on top, which I made using the new scalable 1x1 studs. It's of course still got the port and starboard lights. No running lights for the exhaust because it's not the same as the Germans. But then I tried to make the machine guns look slightly different, so I made them to look a bit like Lewis guns. So they've got the cylindrical or the circular magazine on top. It's got the shroud over the gun. As for the tailplane, I redesigned the tailplane as well. It's now more boxy. The music's cut out, but whoops. Yeah, so the tailplane is now also more boxy. It also has these slight things down here. Of course, the English marching music cuts out as soon as I get to the English planes, doesn't it? There you go. An error occurred apparently whilst playing the music. So yeah, I also had to redesign, because of the bigger propeller, I had to redesign the undercarriage. It's not quite as nice as the German undercarriage, but it serves its purpose. So yeah, okay, we're lifting off already. Off we go, bouncing away. Tally-ho, chocks away, chaps. Royal Flying Corps will mobilise against the German war machine. And we will save our friends in France, after previously fighting them all through history. But anyway, so yeah, as you can see, 2 Lewis machine guns on this thing gives it a decent firepower of the twin machine guns. One mounted in front of you, and one mounted above you. Oh god, we only just cleared that skyscraper. Okay, we're about to crash. No, lift up. Can't lose this thing, old chap. So yeah, as for the struts, I redesigned the struts as well. They're using the actual thin. They're using the actual thin pieces rather than the big old cylinders like for the Germans. So it looks better in that sense as well. As you can see there, the engine spins with the propeller. If I can, there you go. The fake engine is spinning like it is an actual rotary engine. Machine guns, as we can see, fire as well. You've got decent enough control. The exhaust also gives out thicker smoke when you're flying to make it look like, of course, the engine's drawing more power. And yeah, there's the view out the back, far more rounded and sloped and things, so that's all very nice. And yeah, that is the English biplane with the Lewis guns. So let's just crash because, okay, that's a big old crash, isn't it? Literally severed in 2. Okay, there goes the fuselage with the pilot, and here's the wings. Well, looks like we won't be needing them anymore. Wings and the... Oh god, I think they're only held on by 2 studs. Oh, jeez. Alright, but anyway, yes. So there is the biplane. Then, of course, since we've got a triplane for the Germans, we have to have a triplane for the British. So here it is. As you can see, I moved the wing to be in the more historically accurate lower decking position, right underneath. I had to strengthen it slightly. Had to also change the undercarriage slightly as well. He's also at a very steep angle, this pilot, as you can see. But yeah, this is the more historically accurate of the 2 triplanes. Got the roundels, of course, still everything. There's no different colour camo for any of the British aircraft. This thing had to be moved down, so yeah, the exhaust was lowered down slightly. Still got the roundel on the side, the smaller one. Still got the white colour for the underside camouflage, and of course the olive for the upper. But other than that, yeah, you've got twin Lewis guns mounted in a different position. Of course, I can't have them exactly side by side because what is it? The magazine. There we go. So because the magazines would overlap, so instead I just sort of shifted them as if it was some sort of special aero. Design. Okay, let's just try and lift this thing off. A little bit more sluggish, of course, with the added weight being a triplane rather than a biplane. But still, we are flying. We're picking up speed now. Very frontal heavy, unfortunately, though, this thing. As you can see, if I let go of the mouse, we instantly plummet to the ground. Which is not quite what we want. But, yeah. But as we can see, here we go, engine still spinning with the propeller. The struts, of course, look far better than the German struts. The whole thing is, of course, rather more rounded. So there we go, as it flies. Very nice. And yeah, got the twin machine guns, of course, like the German triplane. So yeah, it's just a simple old biplane, or triplane rather. Still, no doubt, going to be imperative or very useful to any English flyer's arsenal. Because of course, triplane equals better, because, more wings, clearly. But yeah, so there is the triplane. And now we come to the final thing so far, because there's only 3 for each of them currently. But this one is the English bomber. And as you can see, this one's a doozy. because the German one was a pull propeller, I decided that I wanted to have a look at the push propeller. So I mounted the propellers backwards. Propellers. But yeah, so bugger, I've just noticed. But anyway, yeah. So the English bomber, I didn't change the sides because I hadn't got round to it yet. Also, I need to change those back to glass, but that doesn't really matter. So the machine guns I changed to Lewis guns. It's also got it's the same width tailplane, however I've added more rudders because more rudders equals more control. Also the struts have all been changed, as you can see. The struts now have the nice thin struts to look nicer. So as for the wings, pretty much the same, except for the fact that there is no camo. Still got the port and starboard lights, still got the roundels all along it, still got the front machine gunner's position, rear machine gunner's position. As for the engines, however, I based it off of Vickers Vimy sort of engine design. So it's got the big sort of radiator intake with the black behind to show that it's sort of like the radiator. It's then got a thin strip of grey for sort of all of the frontal cooling and sort of workings, and then it's got these short exhaust because, of course, if they were any longer, they'd interfere with the propeller. And then, of course, got the running lights on either side of the engine. They're big old engines, and also it works as a pull pull engine. As for the front, here's what it looks like when you're in the passenger seat. Very nice. You've got a nice view of the engines. It feels like you're in the front of a bomber, definitely. I would say that if you were flying in one of these things, sort of over France in the Great War, I imagine it would sort of feel slightly like this. As for flying, as you can see, this is how it looks from the third-person perspective from the rear. I also wanted to change the undercarriage to make it feel like it's a British design rather than just a reskinned German one. Which there is a lot changed. The spinners also move with the propeller, unlike for the German ones where they're static. So these ones are actually mounted onto the propeller, so they spin just to give it that extra little sense. If we can actually put this thing onto the runway, there we go. So, as to how I got these propellers to actually, pull rather than push, I just reversed drive direction on the axles of those things are mounted onto. There we go. We're now flying as an English bomber. This is a very nice design. I like how the engines turned out. I feel like the engines are definitely looking very nice. There's also the, of course, bomb aimer's little glass thing at the front. Don't know if I mentioned that before, but I think I showed it but never actually mentioned it. So there's that. So as you're sitting in the gunner's position, you do have a slight view down for aiming the bombs, as if this thing was like that in real life. Pull engines. You've got nice looking engines that are massive, but still they don't look particularly out of place in the aircraft. There's the view from behind, view from the side. There you've got the nice big propellers and exhausts spewing out, no doubt, lots of hazardous odours at you. So as you can see, machine guns also move. When I make this thing into a bomber, I'll probably just give it the same bomb design as the German one. We're coming in hard. That was definitely not a good landing approach. I'm still not very good at landing. Okay, we've lost an entire underwing, and also an engine that's also coming through there. So that is all of our all of my biplane designs. If you like them, please do subscribe to them on the Steam Workshop. That's what they're there for. If you like them, then subscribe. And I'll thank you for watching, and goodbye.